Hello, everyone. In this lecture, I am going to explain line by line another one of Shakespeare's powerful sonnets. But before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you never miss such deep and easy to understand literary explanations. Now, before we jump into the line by line analysis, let me first give you a brief background of this sonnet. In this poem, Shakespeare is talking to the Muse, the source of artistic inspiration. He feels that the Muse has been neglectful, silent for too long, not writing about what truly deserves praise, his beloved. He questions why the Muse is wasting her power on less important topics. Then he urges her to return and focus. Her efforts on immortalizing his beloved through poetry, Shakespeare also challenges time, saying that if his muse writes powerfully enough, it can defeat time's destruction by giving his love eternal fame. Let's now go line by line. Where art thou, muse, that thou forget'st so long? In this opening line, Shakespeare is addressing his muse. First of all, you should know the meaning of the word muse. Actually, Muse in Greek mythology was a goddess which inspired poets to write poetry. But in this sonnet, it referred to Shakespeare's inner force of writing poetry. So simply, he is asking his muse that why she has been missing or silent for such a long time. Are you getting the point? The phrase, "Where art thou?" is an old-fashioned way of saying, "Where are you?" And "thou forget'st so long" means, "You have forgotten me for a long time." Shakespeare feels that his muse has neglected her duty to inspire him to write, especially about something very important, his beloved. So he is wondering why the muse is not helping him create poetry the way she used to. In simple words, Shakespeare is saying, "Where have you been, muse? Why have you ignored your job of inspiring me for so long?" And then says, "To speak of that which gives thee all thy might?" He continues speaking to his muse and asks why she isn't writing about the very thing that gives her all her power and greatness, his beloved. The phrase, "that which gives thee all thy might," means the one who gives you all your strength. And to speak of means to write or talk about. So Shakespeare is wondering why the muse is not using her voice to praise or describe the source of her inspiration, his love. He believes that the subject of his poetry, his beloved, is what gives the muse all her strength and creative energy. In simple words, you can say he is asking, why aren't you writing about the person who gives you all your power to create beautiful poetry? Spend'st thou thy fury on some worthless song? Now he accuses the muse of wasting her passion and energy on worthless topics. Actually, he is asking his muse why she is wasting her energy and passion on poetry that has no real value. The word "spendst" means are you using, thy means your, and fury refers to intense creative energy or passion, the strong, emotional force behind poetry. A worthless song means a poem or piece of writing that is unimportant or meaningless. So Shakespeare is accusing the muse of using her powerful energy to write about things that don't matter instead of focusing on something truly valuable, his beloved. In simple words, he is asking, why are you wasting your creative passion on useless poems that don't deserve your effort? And then says, darkening thy power to lend base subjects light? This line continues the criticism. Simply, he is telling his muse that by writing about unimportant or low-quality things called base subjects, she is actually weakening her own power. The word darkening means making something darker, but here it means reducing or dimming the strength or brilliance of her talent. The phrase lend base subjects light means giving attention, praise, or importance to things that are not worthy. So, he is saying, when you use your poetic power to glorify things that don't deserve it, you're actually making yourself look less powerful and less impressive. Instead of using your energy to honor something truly valuable like my beloved, you are wasting it on things that have no real meaning. In simple words, he is addressing his muse and saying, "You are making your own talent look weaker by using it to praise things that don't deserve it. Return, forgetful muse, and straight redeem." In this line, Shakespeare is calling on his muse to come back immediately and make up for the time she has wasted. The word return simply means come back, and he calls the muse forgetful because she has neglected her duty to inspire him. The word straight here means right away or without delay, and redeem means to make up for something wrong or wasted, to fix it or correct it. So Shakespeare is saying, "Come back now, muse, and fix the mistake of being absent for so long by inspiring me once again." He wants the muse to start doing what she's supposed to, helping him write meaningful poetry, especially about his beloved. In gentle numbers, time so idly spent. He wants the muse to use gentle numbers, which means graceful or sweet poetry, to make up for the idle or wasted time. Simply, he is asking his muse to redeem the wasted time by writing beautiful poetry. The phrase gentle numbers is an old poetic way of referring to soft, graceful, or sweet-sounding verses or lines of poetry. The word idly means in a lazy or unproductive way, and spent means used or past, in this case referring to time. So Shakespeare is saying, use your poetry to make up for the time that has been wasted doing nothing meaningful. He wants the muse to start writing again, especially about something worthy, his beloved, using pleasant, graceful poetry to replace the silence. Sing to the ear that doth thy lays esteem. In this line, Shakespeare is asking his muse to direct her poetry to someone who truly appreciates and values it, himself. Are you getting the point? The word sing here means to write or express poetry, and the ear that doth thy lays esteem refers to the person who listens to and respects your songs or verses. The word lays is an old-fashioned word for poems or lyrical songs, and esteem means to value or admire. So, Shakespeare is saying, speak your poetry to someone who actually cares about it and understands its worth, me. He feels that while the muse has been wasting her inspiration on unworthy topics or people, she should instead focus her poetry on someone who truly honors and cherishes it. And then says, and gives thy pen both skill and argument. In this line, Shakespeare is telling his muse that he himself is the one who gives her both the talent and the topic for poetry. The phrase thy pen means your writing, since the pen symbolizes the act of creating poetry. Skill refers to the ability or talent to write well, and argument means the subject or topic to write about. So he is saying, I am the one who gives you the reason to write, and the ability to do it beautifully. Without me and my beloved as your subject, you wouldn't have anything meaningful or powerful to write. Shakespeare is gently reminding the muse that he, and especially the love he feels, is what truly fuels her. Poetic inspiration. Rise, resty muse, my love's sweet face survey. In this line, Shakespeare is calling his muse to wake up and start working again. The word rise means get up or become active, and resty means lazy, sluggish, or inactive. So when he says resty muse, he's complaining that the muse has been too idle for too long. Then he tells her to survey, which means look at or examine carefully my love's sweet face, meaning the beautiful face of the person he loves. Shakespeare wants the muse to stop being lazy and start focusing her attention on something truly inspiring, his beloved's beauty. He believes that this beauty is worthy of poetry and should be the center of the muse's inspiration, if time have any wrinkle graven there. In this line, Shakespeare is asking the muse to carefully examine his beloved's face and see if time has left any signs of aging on it. The word time here is personified. It represents aging or the passing of time. A wrinkle is a line or crease that appears on the skin as a person gets older. The word graven means carved, engraved, or deeply marked. So when he says, if time have any wrinkle graven there, he means if time has marked my beloved's face with any wrinkles or signs of age. Shakespeare is asking whether the beauty of his beloved has been affected by time yet, or if it still remains untouched and youthful. In simple words, the poet is saying, look at my beloved's face and see if time has made any wrinkles or left any marks of aging, and then says, if any, be a satire to decay. In this line, Shakespeare says that if there are any wrinkles or signs of aging on his beloved's face, as mentioned in the previous line, then the muse should make fun of or criticize time itself for causing that decay. The phrase be a satire means write something that mocks, ridicules, or exposes the foolishness of something, in this case, decay, which means aging or decline over time. So Shakespeare is telling his muse, if you see even a small mark of aging on my beloved's face, then don't just accept it. Instead, write poetry that shames and mocks the power of time and aging. He wants the muse to fight back against aging through the power of words. In simple words, he is addressing the muse. If you see any signs of aging, use your poetry to make fun of aging and show how weak it really is. Are you getting the point? And then says, and make time's spoils despised everywhere. He wants the muse to write in such a way that time's destruction is hated by all. It means that he is urging the muse to use her poetry to make the damage caused by time, such as aging and decay, hated or looked down upon by everyone. The phrase time spoils refers to the things that time destroys, especially youth, beauty, and life. The word despised, pronounced with 3 syllables, despised, means hated, rejected, or looked at with contempt. So Shakespeare is saying, use your poetry to show how awful time's destruction is, so that people everywhere come to despise the effects of aging and loss. He wants the muse's words to turn public opinion against time, making its damage seem shameful and unwelcome. In simple words, he is saying, make people hate the way time ruins things like beauty and life by showing how unfair and ugly its effects are. Give my love fame faster than time wastes life. Now he wants the muse to immortalize his beloved quickly, to make his love famous before time can destroy life. Simply in this powerful line, Shakespeare is urging his muse to make his beloved famous through poetry before time can destroy life and beauty. The phrase, give my love fame, means make the person I love well known, celebrated, and remembered. And faster than time wastes life means more quickly than time can cause aging, death, or destruction. Shakespeare sees time as a force that slowly wastes or takes away life, but he believes that poetry can move faster, preserving beauty and memory before time has a chance to erase them. So he is saying, write poems that will make my beloved's name and beauty live on forever before time can destroy them. Simply, he says, make my beloved famous through your poetry faster than time can take their life away. And then says, so thou preventst his scythe and crooked knife. The final line has powerful imagery. In this closing line, Shakespeare is saying that if the muse writes poetry quickly enough, celebrating and immortalizing his beloved, then she will stop time from destroying his love. The word prevents means to stop or get ahead of something before it happens. His refers to time, which Shakespeare continues to describe as a figure like the Grim Reaper, a symbolic image of death. The scythe is a large curved blade used to cut grass or crops, and it often represents death cutting down life. The crooked knife refers to a bent or twisted blade, another symbol of death's tools used to damage or end life. So Shakespeare is saying, by writing poetry about my beloved, you, the muse, can stop time from using its weapons to destroy beauty, youth, and life. Lastly, he is saying, Your poetry can stop time from destroying my beloved, like death swinging a scythe, because words can make love last forever. That's the end of this beautiful and powerful sonnet. Shakespeare shows us once again how poetry and love can conquer even time itself. I hope you enjoyed this explanation, and if you did, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more poetic journeys. Thank you so much.